Dr. Carol Brown, Director of the Office of New Evangelization for the Archdiocese of Oklahoma City. Over the past year and a half or so, we've been talking a lot in the Archdiocese about the new evangelization that the Church has been calling for the last 40 or so years. What does it mean? People wonder, are we going to have to go door to door? Does it mean that we'll be standing on street corners talking to strangers? Well, evangelization certainly can include those things, but most importantly, we want to talk about what are the stages of relationship that we have to journey people through in order to help them to come to know Jesus Christ in a personal way. Actually, the new evangelization pertains much more to the relationships that we have with people that God has already put in our lives. One of my favorite definitions of evangelization is one person helping another person to encounter Jesus as his best friend. In order to help us to understand this better, I can't recommend enough this little book by Sherry Waddell, Forming Intentional Disciples. In this book, Sherry describes 5 thresholds by which people become an intentional disciple of Jesus Christ. Those thresholds are trust, curiosity, openness, seeking, and decision. In order to help us to get a better idea of how these thresholds work, we've created a little series called Watercooler Convos. And in this series, you'll meet a couple of guys, Tom and Joe, who are making their way through these thresholds. Joe is a guy who doesn't have any particular faith background, and Tom is a Catholic. Now, Tom doesn't necessarily wear his Catholicism on his t-shirt, but he does try to live an integrated life. His faith and his life are not separate things, and so his faith informs the way that he goes about his work. He tries to be a hard worker. He tries to have integrity in his business dealings. He tries to live a virtuous life. He tries to be kind to his fellow workers. He tries to be friendly. He takes an interest in people. And in the course of laying that foundation of trust, Tom earns the right to be heard in their lives. In this series, we're going to also meet this character, Joe, who's been watching Tom for a while, and he's noticed that Tom lives his life a little bit differently than other people that he knows. And he's begun to look up to Tom a little bit. Now, Tom senses this trust, and so one day he decides to try to take that conversation a little bit deeper. And what he does is he tests that bridge of trust by dropping a little clue to see if he can draw Joe into a conversation at a deeper level.